Welcome to Which to Take with Christina Lisa and Movie Lab number 8 of Psychosociology, a course to free will. Peace. You may call us River and develop with us which virtues of courage, honor, integrity, truth, and wisdom. Sometimes the loss is so much you want to hurt yourself or others, but not really. And so you find that all you can do is watch a movie, TV series, channel a stream. Those are the types of cards you most enjoy playing during those times. And so that's what these movie labs are all about. And in this session, we dance with the TV series North of North through the lens of the literal and figurative orphan, adoptee, and gypsy. We vibe with orphan, adoption, gypsy aspects on our path, hoping to channel in a way that allows us to learn without study, practice, discipline, punishment, to develop a healthy Vishuddha, throat chakra, to seek and share our truths instead of becoming distracted, irresponsible, secretive, alone in our knowledge, to develop, grow, nurture authentic, harmonious, honest relationships between ourselves and others. That's so essential to us coming from a homeless shelter and orphanage and adoption where our truths were suppressed in order to fit in and belong. And we don't have to do that anymore. We've moved into a high state of adoption. We've immersed into adoption spirit magic. So we are practicing our voice, how to speak again in this high state of adoption. And this movie lab is helping us, and it's also helping us develop authentic, harmonious, honest relationships in this high state of adoption. And thank you for joining us. And in this course to free will, we see everybody as a different psychosociology experiment, and only our intentions and actions determine our future. We respect that what resonates for one may not for another, and appreciate the gift of discernment, testing to see what aligns before deciding what to gather and take away, adopting as our own. While the matters of which we speak during these podcasts may seem scary or like we take a side, our mission is to adopt success for one and all, in home, school, business, on the streets, throughout the nations, religions, even in deep space. Coming from a homeless shelter and orphanage, maintaining a safe home with our free will is of the utmost importance to us. Our primal and physical wounds prevent us from playing the good-evil game to fit in, belong, be accepted. Keeper of earth, moon, and stars, we try to help young through elder human remain in the classroom of their lives and succeed. GloryB. If this is resonating and you want more at your leisure, you may hang out for other spells in our virtual offices via calendly.com/which to take, substack.com @which to take, or linktree /which to take. And for fun and education, you may flip through those sites like decks of tarot or oracle using your discernment. And if you want to collaborate, you may email whichtotake@gmail.com. And thank you so much for joining us in this podcast. We are grateful for you, your energy, essence, and arts, for being gentle with yourselves, steering clear of danger, playing with yourself, your cards for the life you need, want, and desire as you and life keep changing into the blue beyond. And so this session, Movie Lab number 8, Netflix show, North of North. What an amazing treatment from the script to the costumes, to the characters. We adored it. And so perhaps you may as well, and through the lens of the literal and figurative orphan, adoptee, and gypsy, to help you move into a high state of adoption as needed. And we have a few bits of data from the show, like 5. So here we go. Around minute 13, episode 1, Ting says to Sia something to the effect of, "You can't go back to work. We're having another child. My cousin's pregnant and wants us to adopt her baby." And so Ting and Sia, they're married. They're a young couple in their 20s, and Ting is the husband, and he's telling his wife, "Hey, we're going to adopt my cousin's baby." And that is when adoption showed up. The literal and figurative orphan and gypsy showed up prior to that. But check out for yourself. See what you think. And second piece of data. Sia kisses a man when drunk. Later, she learns that he is her father. And this is fascinating because the first time I went to adoption therapy, one of the first times, 25, 27, the second therapist I saw let me know that things might get incestuous when I meet my birth family for the first time due to the prior intimacy that is involved. Intimacy is one of the 7 cards each human seems to get dealt with every loss. It's a two-faced card, 7 two-faced cards. Not just the orphan and the adoptee and the gypsy, but everybody seems to get dealt this with each loss, and intimacy is one of them. And so interesting, and that intimacy card, that two-faced intimacy card, may shed some light on all the fuckery that's been happening around Mother Earth, from the child trafficking to all the things we're seeing on the media, all the stuff that's coming out. And perhaps it's allowing us to see really there is no evil, it's just loss, and we can learn how to improve our behavior, and instead of just kicking out one perceived bad dog after another. And so that is thrilling to, of our own free will, be able to make that choice and step out of that cycle of violence, cycle of loss. So the next bit of data may have been episode 8. Sia and her mother Neva were fighting, and Sia says something to the effect of, "I didn't have a mother. My parents weren't around. You weren't there for me. Why do you think I got together with Ting in high school?" And this conversation and this treatment just helps us work through our issues with our parents and so many other treatments like this. And so what do you think? What do you think? How does that fit with you? How does that resonate with you and your adoptive family or your birth family? Or maybe you're just beginning to think about it right now. You're just now allowed to think about it. And maybe you've been on both sides of the fence and you became a mother, and were you able to rise to the occasion and say, "Wow, I'm fucking sorry. Shit, that really sucked. I'm really sorry, and I'm learning how to improve myself, and this is what I'm doing." And let us know if you feel like you can share those details in a public forum and perhaps lift up and inspire others in parallel positions. Because we're not alone, right? We're either here or we're there, and before we're here, we're there. So you're either on one side of the fence until you're on the other side of the fence, and then, we're all one, right? The law of oneness. So the next bit of evidence, Neva walks into a local church, and the minister says something to the effect of, "I knew your mother. I went to residential school with her. It's hard to be a mother when you never got mothered because your mother wasn't around. At the residential school, they made you keep secrets, wouldn't let you release them. You had to carry that weight. I tell my secrets to God. Who do you tell your secrets to?" And this was so touching, and just if you have been in that position and your family, your parents, you have been in a residential school, our heart goes out to you and deep sympathies. And if you have been on both sides of the fence and you ended up working at a residential school before you realized what was happening, and that's a low state of adoption, deep sympathies, hugs. So many of us have been on one side of the fence, the other, or both sides, and to just offer you that understanding and that release to transform that. And so many Indigenous people who were here in what is now called the United States of America before it became, and so many orphans adopted into the United States, put into residential schools of sorts, and we're trying to make amends. We've been on both sides of the fence, and working at a treatment center that's come to light where deaths happened because of the low state of adoption we were operating at. And you may learn more about that from Paris Hilton, and she's been raising awareness about what's been happening at a residential treatment school that she attended, and I worked at a sister school of that in a different state. And part of the reason why we do the work we do is to make amends for that. And God bless it and us all, however you call God. The silver lining is the shift that is happening, and stepping from a low to high state of adoption to approach life differently. There's so much that goes with that, right? And guilt and shame is another one of the two-faced cards. There's 7 two-faced cards we each get dealt with every loss, and guilt and shame comes up with this, and there's another side to that. And so you may examine what's on the flip side of your guilt and shame card. Is it compassion, understanding, forgiveness? And again, no shame, no blame. Even though we're talking about the guilt and shame card, before you move to a high state of adoption, you're in a low state of adoption. And so the forgiveness is essential, but also feeling your feelings and being able to speak your truth, especially if you've been shut down, and to be able to work through that in your own space. You know, after you've gotten out of that place where you had to keep the secrets, you weren't allowed to tell your truth or your heritage, you weren't allowed to release them, you had to carry the weight. Now you're in a different place, and you can work through that, and perhaps treatments like this assist. And big hugs out to you. We feel for you, and with respect, we're going to step away from that data and on to the next. Later in that episode, Neva confides in Sia that she had a daughter before her when she was 16. The father of the child was much older and took her daughter away from her under the guise that he and their daughter were going to visit his parents. And this one hit home with me in my own story of my birth mother, who had a son before me. And we both went to the orphanage, but some of the family went to the orphanage and collected him and ended up helping raise him. He came before me, but that didn't happen with me. I was adopted out by Americans, young American U.S. citizens, and all of it has helped lead us to where we are now, and we are so grateful for everyone who has come across our paths. We don't want to blame or shame. We're just here helping usher those willing participants from a low to high state of adoption as they wish. And this is one of the ways we do it, talking about movies. And so maybe enjoy putting your comments and sharing and helping uplift other like-minded souls on parallel paths, moving from a low to high state of adoption. Maybe you want to collaborate and you email us at which to take. Maybe you're just thrilled to have a place to work anonymously with other like-minded people, and that's awesome. And we are so grateful for you. Thank you so much. We are wrapping up this session now, and thank you so much for steering clear of danger, for playing with yourself, your cards. And ciao for now. We love you all.